Hello, I'm Sophia Lou and welcome to my channel.
Hello guys, and welcome to this month's challenge video. As highly requested by you guys, this is the pastel colour challenge, and keeping in theme with my other colour challenges I've done, I have decided to do another bird theme. This time I decided to do one of my all-time favourite birds, which is the cockatiels, and this is because I think they're absolutely adorable. I think they have such wonderful personalities, and I just love all the different colours, and I decided to go for yellow cockatiels to keep in the theme with the pastel colours. The thing I found probably the hardest with the pastel colour challenge is the colours are all extremely light and they can be quite difficult to blend. I absolutely loved doing it though. Pastel colours are my favourite sort of colours. I love the muted tones, and I just love how everything looks like candy when you draw it, and I just absolutely love that. So with my previous ones, I've kind of done like side-on profiles. So with this one, I kind of wanted to do like a front-facing view, and I did a few colour swatches in my sketchbook and was really trying to find a pose that I was really happy with, and this is what I struggled with the most, the posing. No matter what I did, it just didn't seem right, so in the end I went for this very frontal face view where you can see the character and the birds. I opted to go for blue hair because it standed out against all the quite pale yellow tones I ended up using. I find that with this sort of challenge I ended up using a lot of yellow, mainly because that's what I have on my pro markers. I did buy a specific set of pro markers for this, but unfortunately one of the colours completely was completely dried out, so unfortunately I couldn't actually use that one. But I used what I currently had and used all my purples, my blues, my very light greens, and built with the yellows and the pinks, and built this up layer by layer to try and create the image that I wanted. And I'm overall happy with the look of the final piece. I think possibly my favourite part of actually doing these colour challenges is having to study up the birds and get the posing down. And originally I was going to go for lovebirds with this, but I wanted something a bit bigger, so that's why I went for the cockatiels instead. And if you notice me keep on lifting up the paper, this is just to make sure that I haven't completely bled through on the other side. So with this, it was more about building up the layers and building up layers, because the pastel colours are very, very light, and to create good shading I found that the more colours I blended, the better. So you'll notice I'm using a lot of purples for the skin tone to try and get the harsher shadows, and then building up that with blues and pinks to create a softer skin tone. And then with the jumper I've gone from this very, very limey yellowy green, and then building up with purples and greens and blues. And this, I found that the colour challenges are absolutely fantastic for testing your palette and seeing how far you can go with your colour palette. And anyone who wants to do these colour challenges, if you have done them or are choosing to do them, let me see. I would love to see what your results are when doing these challenges. If you ever want to check out any of my other colour challenges, I will leave a link to them either on the screen, which you'll see pop up, but that might not pop up on mobile devices, so if you check up down below there will be links to my primary colour challenge and my secondary colour challenge. I think the next challenge I probably would like to do would be either the tertiary colour challenge, but I'm also looking at doing the monochrome and the sepia, and keeping in theme with all my birds again, because I really enjoy that there is a running theme throughout this entire series. I just think it keeps it more coherent, makes it more fun, and it means I get to do a lot of research on birds, and birds are not something I'm massively comfortable with drawing up with. So I'm pretty happy to go out my comfort zone and try out stuff that I'm not particularly used to. So what I try to do is try to avoid many warm-ish colours, because I find that with a lot of pastel tones they're either extremely warm or extremely cold, and I ended up using an awful lot of purple in this to try and create as much shading as possible. But as I said, the thing is with the colour challenges, you'll find that your palette is extremely limited because of what you have available to you, and I really enjoyed working with this. It was very nice for me to step a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I absolutely love pastel colours, but I don't tend to use them very often in my palettes. I tend to go for very greeny blues, or I tend to go for one extreme to the other. So what I try and do as much as possible with my art, which is something I've always wanted to do, and my illustration, is to push myself a little bit further each time. It may not seem to everyone that I am pushing very hard, because I do seem to draw very similar stuff, but this is stuff that I'm happy with my drawing. I'm happy with my choice of what I draw. It's just I want to be able to push my palettes further, and I want to understand colour better. By me understanding colour better with traditional work, I found that it's actually really helping with my digital work, and this has been a massive move forward with me because I felt like my digital work was getting a little bit stale, and that was just because I found that my colouring wasn't happening as well as I wanted to. And I found that recently, when I was doing some of my newer prints, that I was really enjoying colouring, and I was really enjoying working with a digital canvas. And I found that since I have done these colour challenges, and since I've done this channel, that my digital stuff has improved despite me doing a lot more traditional work. I found that it's come hand in hand almost, so to speak. I wonder if anyone else has found. Have you guys find that sometimes that if you were both a traditional and digital artist such as myself, do you find that they both go hand in hand and help each other? Because I find that it really does, and it's extremely helpful to be able to do both, and it's very helpful to be able to understand both as well. So if you guys have any suggestions on future challenges that you would like to see me do, I really do like the colour palette challenges, and it's something that I completely and utterly am obsessed with doing. But is there something that you guys would like to see in particular, like challenge wise, or is there anything in particular you'd like to see me draw or try out, or I want to know what you guys want to see on this channel. It's important to me, even though I love drawing what I draw, and I love challenging myself to draw things that are out of my comfort zone. I've had a few suggestions for the left-handed challenge, and I will probably try that out, just so people know my left hand is actually very weak, so I will try my best if I do come to that in the future. But just as an understanding, my left hand is extremely weak because of hereditary problems. So you can see here what I do with the layers is I build up the colours, and I'd be able to create a harsher line of shading and a more natural line of shading as well. And I think if I was to go back and to do this again, I'd love for her hair to be darker, so darker blue. But with it being pastel colours, it's very difficult yet again to blend that to that darker shade of blue. I do recommend that anyone does these challenges because they are very good to try out your palettes, and if you do and you want to show me, you can either leave a link down below if you want to, or maybe tag me on Instagram or Twitter, which there are links to down below. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this video and my commentary throughout it. If you guys want to see more content from me, maybe subscribe to my channel, maybe leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see next. And if you want to, find me out on other social medias. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as always, stay creative.